name is LoeyLane, and I'm so excited to tell you guys about my new podcast, Internet Urban Legends, with my BFF Snitchery.
We deep dive into the darkest corners of the internet to uncover whether some of the most notorious web myths are hoax or whether they're con. Internet Urban Legends, available exclusively on Spotify.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello. My name is Loey. When I tell y'all, it's like 12:30 in the morning. It is the middle of the night, and it is still so hot outside in California. It's crazy. So I have to have my fan on pointed at me. I'm really sorry if the audio isn't great. I wasn't even going to film this, but we have a big heat wave going on, and I thought that you guys would appreciate a video with maybe not the best audio quality versus one that wouldn't come out at all. I love the scary, mysterious, and weird side of TikTok. And today I have 15 videos from the scary side of TikTok, specifically that are supposedly going to show us glitches in the Matrix. If you're a little unsure of what that means, essentially the glitch in the Matrix that you will see throughout these videos relies on the simulation theory, which is the theory that we are all in a giant game of The Sims, and hopefully whoever is playing our world, or you know, the aliens who run it, whatever the theory is kind of going into the direction of, hopefully that they're kind of enjoying it, but that the Matrix itself, the simulation, is glitching, which can result in some really bizarre things. My goal for this video is to make you question reality just a tiny, tiny bit. So get your drink and your snack and settle in for another episode of The Scary Side of TikTok, Glitch in the Matrix edition. Have y'all been tagging me in Peachgate videos? Because I think you have been tagging me in Peachgate videos. Our first couple of videos come from the user Jen_Hamilton. She explains that when she moved into the home that she currently lives in somewhere around 8 years ago, she and her husband planted a lot of different fruit trees. They knew that they would be at this location for a really long time. They're planting all these trees, but there's one tree in particular that has been giving her a little bit of confusion, Mandela effect brain, something in that realm, because the fruit that it is currently producing is not the one that was planted there.
My husband and I found a glitch in the Matrix, and it is freaking us out. We've been in this house for 8 years, and whenever we first got here, Brian planted a bunch of fruit trees everywhere, and he planted a golden delicious apple tree in the middle of our front yard. He did that because it is a good cross-pollinator with other things. It was very strategic. And for the last several years, we've been getting some delicious, golden delicious apples from that tree. We have apples in the front, peaches in the back. But last night, I pulled in the driveway. I was coming to pick Brian up. And as he was coming to the car, I noticed something. He saw me staring, and he's like, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "Wasn't that an apple tree before?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a golden delicious apple tree." And I was like, "Look, them are peaches. This ain't no baby tree. This is a big girl grown-up tree full of peaches. How?"
Jen and her husband claimed that they planted a golden delicious apple tree in the front yard. However, this year it is sprouting peaches, and the tree is also quite tall, so it has clearly been there for a while. So 8 years after planting their apple tree, it's now producing peaches, and that makes sense when you think about it, like why they would bring it to TikTok and stuff. I would be pretty confused too. Even stranger, when she's gathering basically evidence of the tree for an update video, she realizes that there's a shot of her yard from 2019 where there's no tree at all.
So since my husband planted these fruit trees 8 years ago, I knew that somewhere in my camera roll I would have some proof that it had to have always been a peach tree, right? And we're just remembering it wrong. So I found a screenshot from my Ring doorbell camera less than 2 years ago on September 15th, 2019. I was like, good angle, let's look at it. Donde está the tree? The tree would be here. Let's zoom in. Donde está el tree? So then I started freaking out. I called my husband. I said, I need you to go outside right now and take a picture of the tree from where you were standing on the porch, because it wasn't there 2 years ago. He said, what? This is the picture that he sent me. This is the tree. If this thing grew well for 2 years, it should be 5 to 7 feet tall. This is a 2-year-old peach tree. This is our apparently less than 2-year-old peach tree. couple days ago, I was freaked out that it was producing peaches. Now I'm freaked out for a completely different reason.
So now we've gone from the glitch of the apple tree being replaced with a peach tree to now the glitch that the tree apparently didn't exist at all just a couple of years ago. It's hard to keep up, so if your brain hurts, I promise you're not alone. No matter what kind of tree this was from the beginning, now we have evidence from 2019 the tree wasn't there, and now in 2022 this is a massive tree, like a huge tree. I don't really know how nature works, but I don't think they can grow that big in 3 years. However, there is one more set of updates, and this is by far the biggest one.
Let me try to figure out when did this peach tree emerge. So we see this timestamp on my Instagram, May 1st, 2020. There is a little stick of a tree. But I remember this apple tree literally having apples. So you told me to go to Google Earth and Street Side and all that stuff. I did the historical view. The only thing that I can find is from 9 years ago. I did all the things you guys told me to do. 9 years ago is whenever I can find it, and obviously there's no tree. So part of the question is, how did this thing, I don't really know how tall it was here, but how did this thing turn into this thing, which is like 15 feet tall, in 2 years?
She looked at as many sources as she could get her hands on to see the tree, to get evidence of the tree, etc. Unfortunately, the Google Maps view of her house was somewhere in the realm of 9 years ago, so there was no tree at all. So a lot of the photos and data on websites that people were recommending are quite outdated. However, she does find evidence from 2015 that there was a tree there.
So I did find proof that there was a tree there in 2015. I can't prove that it's an apple tree because of how far away it is, but you'll see. So this is our driveway that you see from those other photos, and we're gonna look right here. If we zoom in, there is a tree in this vicinity, and I can't prove it's an apple tree. I wish I could see a little bit closer. So I sat down with my husband, who has the memory of a goldfish, and I said, remember, please help me remember what happened to this tree. He's like, I know that I planted apples there because I strategically planned out where they were going. So what Brian remembers is ants. I was like, okay, what about ants? He said, I remember being so disappointed because I was excited for that tree to be in our front yard, and I went over to it and found the tree was dying and it had ants crawling in it. Felt like a psychiatrist trying to access someone's suppressed memories. I was like, okay, ants, follow that train. What happened next?
By the end of this video, we realized that her husband has remembered that something was going on with that apple tree. Something really distinct. And in the part 2 of this, where she's giving an adorable baby chicken a little bath, it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, she finishes the story.
Here's our running theory. Our theory is that the tree was dead or dying, and Brandon, who has the memory of a goldfish, had removed the tree, just forgot, and replaced it with a different tree.
So they have a theory that the original apple tree died. They replaced it with a peach tree, and both for some reason have completely forgotten they're doing so. She explains that they did find a receipt for February of 2020 that included a nectarine tree on the receipt that was purchased by her husband that he isn't necessarily aware of where it was planted. So maybe the nectarine tree was mislabeled and it's really a peach tree, or those are just really crazy nectarines. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. All I know is that it seems that we have gotten to the end of the Peachgate saga with a million fruits, and honestly, a lot of questions as to how both of them somehow forgot about planting that tree. It's just still kind of weird to me. Like, I know it makes sense, but my little noggin is just like, why did you both forget planting that tree? Like, it seems like gardening is a big thing that they both enjoy. They're planting trees. I can't imagine that that's easy to care for a tree. Although I will say that at my house in Georgia, we have a loquat tree. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know what it was for years, and then one day I asked Twitter and everyone was like, we also don't know what that is. So then I used this like fancy Google thing that they had to tell me what kind of fruit it was. Anyway, I don't do anything to that tree. It just is fully self-sufficient. I never water it, I never prune it, I never do anything to it except enjoy the fruit from it a few times a year. So maybe you would forget about the tree. I don't know. The whole thing is really weird, and even though I think that we kind of arrived at a rational explanation, this was a big enough story that it went super viral online and a ton of you attacked me in it. So I thought that I would talk about it at the start of today's Glitch in the Matrix video. Then from Unicorn Tacos, we have a poster who explains that he bought a pretty innocent looking coat at a Goodwill for a Doctor Who cosplay. When he was going through it, you know, going through the pockets, getting it ready to clean for this cosplay, he finds something truly harrowing. A program for a funeral is in the pocket of this jacket for a man with his exact name, first and last for his hometown, before he ever arrived there. This threw me for such a loop that I scoured his page for an update, and luckily I didn't have to look too far before I found where he said something.
Okay, I've been going through like all my papers to try and see if I can find this damn thing, because I know I kept it, but I can't find it, and I don't really want to keep looking. But this was a picture I took of it back then, and I posted this on Facebook like years ago. This is because this happened in 2012, 2013, guys. But he passed away like 1999, so I was like 6 then, so I think I had just moved to that area. So I did phrase that a little incorrectly, but still, he was very much like way older than me, and yeah, we have the exact same name. And funny enough too, I did also move from Washington to California now, so I live in California, which I don't know, I find that very strange. It's like reverse.
So in this video, he shows the program. This was something that happened back in 2013, so his memory on it was a bit hazy. It wasn't 20 years ago, but it was somewhere in the time that he moved to the town. I guess at the end of the day, this is a coincidence, but what are the odds of him buying that coat at that Goodwill and finding a funeral program for someone with the exact same name as him, who lived in the same hometown that he did? Well, died in the same hometown that he did. It's just crazy to me that he managed to find it. I don't know. Maybe I'm making too much out of what could definitely be a coincidence, but it seems like a glitch in the matrix to me. A little break in the simulation. Then the next few videos that I wanted to talk about all come from an account called alexservestea. Now, she made a compilation of the videos I'm going to show you. I'm also going to show you her video kind of towards the end, because every single person that she put in her video compilation on TikTok seem to be experiencing the same thing in terms of suddenly being able to hear each other's thoughts. The first video that we're looking at is from an account called tatiscreepystories. The poster opens the video by explaining that she's really unnerved about a text that she just got from her daughter asking what she was doing.
I'm at the store. I'm at Marshall's doing my thing. My daughter texts me and says, "Mom, what are you doing?" I respond with, "I'm at the store, like I'll be home soon." And then she's like, "Why are you in the driveway?" And I'm like, "In the driveway? Like, I'm at the store. I'm not in the driveway. Like, that's not my car." And then she responds with, "Mom, I waved at you. You waved back." My heart's a little shaking. I'm like, that's not me in the car, in the driveway, waving. I don't know what that is. You need to shut the doors, make sure everything's locked. I'll be home soon. For those of you wondering, my boyfriend is home now and they're fine. I also have cameras all around the house and there's nothing there. So I'm not sure what she saw, but she saw my car parked in the driveway and she saw me inside and that I waved back at her.
That would scare me to death. That would scare me so badly. If my parent, if someone that also lived in my house pulls into the driveway, I'm like, what is taking them so long? So I give them a little wave and then call them to be like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm just out. Like, do you need anything? I cannot even imagine how freaky that was. Luckily for us, the poster did make a follow-up video about the event, giving a little bit more detail after she had had the time to ask her daughter more questions.
After I got home, my daughter was able to tell me more detail what happened. And she said that she saw when my car pulled up to the driveway and she was wondering what was taking me so long to get out of the car. So she waved at me and she saw when I waved back. That's when she texted me and said, "What are you doing?" She looked back out the window and the car wasn't there anymore. I did look at video footage around that time. I have a motion sensor camera type thing, so it only starts recording when motion happens. It didn't record anything at the time that she said that she saw my car pull up, which also debunks the idea that it could have been just like another car that looks like mine that happened to pull up. But also she saw me in the car, so things have been really, really weird, especially after, you know, CERN was activated. I've noticed a lot more activity.
So, eerily enough, the motion sensor camera does not detect any motion when this supposed car pulls up. So there's no footage of the car to review here or to compare to her own car. She also mentions CERN here and says that ever since CERN has been activated, things have been a little nuts. If you don't know what CERN is, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't fully understand it either. We could do an entire video on it in about like conspiracies around it and stuff. But my understanding on it is really basic, and that is that it is the world's most like powerful particle accelerator, and essentially can create like a sort of black void or a portal or something like that. At least that's what spiritual people are saying. I'm not sure how much that ties into the science of it all, but people have been saying that ever since it was activated again after a 3-year hiatus, things have hit the fan. She also mentions here that her son had an experience where he thought that his mother was calling to him, but she wasn't.
Just this morning as we were getting ready to come here, I hear my son yelling from upstairs going, "I'll be right down." And then I heard him yell a second time, like, more frustrated, like, "I'll be right down." And I'm like, what is your problem? Like, no one's calling you. And then he's like, "You called me like 4 times. He said he heard me calling him down like 4 times. And I'm like, "I have not called you once. I've been in the kitchen. Like, what are you talking about?" He says he heard me, my voice, yelling for him to calm down.
Then we have another video from cfayee that is eerily similar to that last story.
I feel like I'm going crazy, and my kid also feels like he's going crazy, and so we were just laying in here in my bed, we're watching TV. He goes, "I have to go to the bathroom," which is fine. The bathroom is directly right next door to me, so like I can hear him if he's in there. He's 9, by the way, so like he's good on his own. He goes into the bathroom and I hear him go, "Mom," and I'm like, he'll be back in a minute. If he needs me, he's gonna come back in here. A couple minutes goes by, like I'm talking like a solid 10 minutes. I'm watching a whole show. I don't hear him. So I'm like, all right, he just got tired of hanging out with me. He probably went into his bedroom. And then I hear a faint "Mom" again. And I'm like, so now I'm contemplating, like, do I need to get up? I'm like, what? Like, what do you want? Nothing. Next thing I know, I'm hearing like panting, like having an anxiety attack. I know him, and he's panicking, and I shoot up out of bed and I'm trying to find him, and I can't. I've looked all over this house for him, and he's like not here, and but I can hear him. So I'm hearing him from this side of the house, right? And that's where I'm looking. Then all of a sudden I hear him from the other side of the house, so that's where I run out to. He's out on the back porch. I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He's like, "You weren't in the bedroom." I'm like, "Yes, I was. I never left the bedroom." He's like, "No, you weren't. I went in there and I looked for you and you weren't in there. I thought you left me home alone." He's like, "I went out to see if your car was still here and I saw your car was here. So I found my iPad to call you. I've been trying to FaceTime you. It's not going through." I never left the bedroom. He's like, "Mom, I went in there and you weren't in there. The TV was on and you weren't in there."
Her son gets up from the bathroom as they're watching their show together, and she hears him call for her, thinking that it's nothing and that he'll call again if he really needs something from her. She waits, and then she hears him again, but he's further away and more muffled. Before she has a chance to react, she can now hear him running around, panting, freaking out. And when she finally finds him, he's like, "You weren't in the room. You weren't in there." And she says, "Yes, I was. I was right where you left me." And he says, "No, I looked, you weren't in there." His calls from his iPad apparently also were not working. So that's also super, super strange, because I have to assume that his iPad, if he's calling his mom from it, it's probably something that he's done before. So it's probably not that it's like not connected to Wi-Fi or something like that. And then we have one more video. It's from thatcaleesun, but I'm gonna show you it from the alexservestea video because I think that she adds some really, really interesting insight to the end of it. Thatcaleesun explains that she was just cleaning her house when she had an experience with her children very similar to the last 2 stories that I told you.
My youngest twin came to me and he said, "Mom, you called to me." And I said, "No, I didn't, baby. I'm in here cleaning." He said, "Yeah, I heard you. You called my name." I said, "No, baby, I didn't." And then a little bit later, my other twin, my older twin, he come to me. He said, "Mommy, you called my name." I was still cleaning. I said, "Baby, I didn't call your name." He said, "Yeah, you called my name. You called my name and said we was about to go outside."
So Callie's twin boys come to her and they're like, "Why are you calling us?" She's like, "I'm not." And then Alex has this to say.
Let's talk about how bad the system is glitching right now. Yeah, we live in a video game and we're all getting our powers right now, okay? I was in Vegas from July 4th to July 8th, and I was with my friend, and we went to a restaurant and we're looking at the menu, and I hear him go, "Oh my God, this is so expensive." And I turned around and I said, "I know, right?" And he goes, "You heard that?" I didn't say that out loud. What? Then every time I was in the shower, he kept saying, "What?" And I was like, "I'm not saying anything." And he was like, "I hear you talking to someone." I think we're hearing each other's thoughts.
Alex explains at the end of this video that she and her friend basically went through the exact same thing. She could hear what he was thinking at a restaurant despite him not saying anything out loud. She could hear what he was thinking about the place. And then he kept hearing her talking to someone in the shower despite her never saying a word. Is the restarting of CERN really to blame for all of this weird paranormal stuff? Or is the Matrix glitching all on its own? For me personally, I think it's so buggy it doesn't need any extra help, but what do you know? And by what do you know, I mean what do I know, which is genuinely not very much. Then we have a video coming from blairbathory. She has a really cool series called The Digital Campfire where she'll share different scary stories, but this particular video really freaked me out.
Walk down your stairs with the inverted filter. I'm gonna show y'all because my legs look backwards as heck. All right, so this is with inverted off. Bro, this is inverted on. This is same direction. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My staircase. Oh, the staircase is leading me to the. Oh, I don't even know how to record this. Bro, I can't do this.
In the clip, a woman is switching her phone from inverted to not inverted on the camera, when suddenly something really strange happens to the staircase that she's walking down. The staircase starts to glitch here, and you can see what looks like someone running up it. It could be an edit, and most likely is, but still, the premise of that really freaked me out. I think one of the scariest ideas for like a modern day horror is the bridge between technology and humanity. The idea that you can only interact with a ghost through tech or only see it through your phone's camera or something. Really creepy stuff. This user called CamI'mBeat13 has a whole bunch of videos on their account about their mirror in their bedroom. And they say that they think something is going on with the mirror, something's not right about it, but this is by far the most interesting one. Inside of the mirror, something is flashing brightly. Her thumb connects with its own reflection, signaling that it is possibly a two-way mirror, and there's also green goo dripping from the side of it. She was really freaked out about this. What I realized when looking into this a bit more was that this is an account that was made to repost all of those videos, and the actual account that posted it has not posted since April of this year, and apparently has been talking about this for a year with no conclusion. So I guess likely a hoax. Maybe the electricity inside of the mirror is just something with like a vanity mirror that lights up and the electricity like going wrong inside of it or something like that. Ultimately though, so weird, and I wish that there was more to this for me to show you, because I think it's such a creepy premise. Imagine moving into a house and there's a two-way mirror that's flashing on the other side with green goo dripping out. I don't know. There still could be something really creepy to this, but for now, I'm just throwing it your way and asking what you think. Speaking of mirrors though, this next one is from sione.wick, and there isn't much of an explanation for this. It's just a really weird video. When the person in the video holds up like a giant Pokemon card to the mirror, something sucks it inside. It looks like there's some kind of like an invisible force dragging it in behind the mirror. What if this is a giant episode of The Truman Show and they really are just watching us behind mirrors? I don't like it. This next video is from Horror Talk, and to be totally honest with you, I'm not sure how much of the audio I'm going to be able to play because of how loudly the people in it are screaming. Though to be fair, if I saw what they saw, I'd be screaming like that too.
Blue! What the Yo, the sky is blue! And then it turned off! Nope! Yo! I got that on camera! I got that on camera!
In this video, for a split second, the night sky flashes a bright blue, as though somebody flipped a light switch, and suddenly it's daytime again. Before this even registers, it goes dark again, and everyone in the video is freaking out. Seriously though, whoever is running the simulation, can you just do a quick like power off and on for us? I think that we might be a lot better off for it. Lastly, for this video from A10mon, we have a doozy. The caption on the video alone is so disturbing, stating that none of these houses are real. If you don't know what the poster means by that, wait till you see how they try to lift away the cardboard windows on these homes, proving that every single one of them is fake. Every single one of them has cardboard windows on it. Not real ones. Nobody's inside of them. They're fake buildings. Is it possible that this is a movie set that has since been abandoned? Or are these buildings that have not fully loaded in yet and are just glitched out in our simulation video game? There you guys have it. Another video all about the scary side of TikTok, but specifically today, glitches in the Matrix. What do you guys think of this? Do you believe in the simulation theory? I feel like I'm kind of like everyone else in the sense that it seems like it could be plausible, like it sort of makes sense, especially because we have such a high-tech, fast-paced world, and I think that our little human brains want something to explain that. But I'm also not totally sold, so I'd love to hear what you all have to say. I'm gonna go ahead and go, but I want to say a huge thank you to my subscriber Muna for being a member of this channel. If you want to join my channel memberships, get extra members exclusive content, including videos, as well as other members only perks like helping me decide the next video topics, and also members only updates, and so much more, you can click that little join button. It should be somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. For now, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, go and give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you very, very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!